Hello, Andy. Nice to see you.
Hi, nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, so my name's Andy Thompson. I'm one of the pilots for London's Air Ambulance, and been with London's Air Ambulance for about 8 years.
All right, that's a long time. I won't ask you what you did before. I think it's obvious. Okay. The next question is, what was your experience of lockdown in London?
So lockdown is quite interesting, obviously, but for us, not too much change. We start to go to work every day. Trauma, sadly happens every day, so we go to a number of patients. There were sort of fewer patients we were seeing. I guess there's sort of fewer cars on the road, fewer people on public transports. So if you think the type of trauma we go to, so I guess people injured in road traffic collisions, injuries on the railway line, because people weren't out and about so much, London was very, very quiet. So the call-outs, the trauma call-outs for us, those did drop off. And sadly, we did see a rise in mental health, sadly attempted suicides, and domestic abuse, all I think probably went up. So the jobs did sort of change a little bit from the norm, but I guess sort of fewer trauma jobs. And then as lockdown progressed, there were more and more cars sort of on the road, a few people taking public transport, a few people sort of car sharing, so the roads do seem sort of quite busy at the moment. So I guess the level of trauma did pick up and is back to normal, if not maybe more so. And then other sides of lockdown, just the generosity of people in London, people around who were there for each other. We worked with all the emergency services, the London Ambulance Service, the Fire Brigade Police, and everybody was sort of there supporting each other, helping each other in any way they could. Obviously, with COVID, sadly, lots of people died, lots of people were affected, and family and friends and patients they went to, and everybody sort of looked after each other a little bit. It's really important to have sort of chats and discussions and briefs and debriefs to make sure we're okay personally and our team are okay. So we will look after each other and make sure people have a chance to sort of talk, chat about things, or just have some time to themselves and reflect, or just go on, reflect on some of the horrible things I might have seen that day, or just sort of make sure they're right. A lot of our sort of paramedics that work for the London Ambulance Service, the doctors and consultants and registrars, would often go back to their respective A&E or at least ITU units around London. So they would go and sort of assist their colleagues with the pandemic. So they would go back, sort of seeing lots and lots of patients during the day. So there was a lot of, sadly, a lot of the patients died, and it was very sort of tough on them. So everybody really, supported each other, looked out for each other, and I guess, helped each other out really.
So they're all there for each other. I mean, I think most of us feel slightly removed from it all, and you just see something on screen, and you're not as close to what's really happening. So it's always interesting to hear your point of view on that. It's just
there's a lot of an awful lot of sad stories that happened over the pandemic, but there's a lot of good as well. There's a lot of people obviously who helped, and there's a great effort sort of put on to have the resources, have the PPE, have the beds available, have the ventilators. So people sort of did really go above and beyond, working all hours. So
well, much appreciated everything anyway. So that's lovely. I'll go on to the next question. What is your favourite place in London and why?
London's a great city, and we're very lucky to land at some amazing places around London, and sort of see them from a different perspective, different view. I think one of the best places I like is probably the helipad. Really. It's 300 feet high, 17 floors, but the view you get, you can see the area we operate. So we operate inside the M25. So look at sort of 10 million people who live, work, commute in and around London. Yeah, from the helipad you can see, Wembley Stadium, planes coming into Heathrow, London City. You've got the Shard, Canary Wharf, Alexandra Palace to the north, Crystal Palace to the south. We are sort of quite privileged where we are, even in sort of Whitechapel, East London. This great view over the rest of London, and it's something sort of most people don't really get to see unless you're flying down the river or you've got a high office. So it's quite a unique office we work in, I guess.
Yeah, and I'm quite jealous. I've been lucky enough to go there, so I know exactly what you're talking about. But and it was a lovely sunny day. It may not be as good in bad weather. I'm wondering what it's like now.
It's a bit different when it's windy. Yeah, you get the winds up here, but no, on a nice day, it's lovely.
Yeah. Can you operate on really windy days? Do you have days that you can't go out, or is it more like fog that just stops you?
So yesterday, for example, the winds were up to sort of 30, 40 miles an hour. The first thing that would happen is it gets too dangerous to offload a patient, and then the aircraft are flying it. We have limits to start up and shut the aircraft down, so the blades will flap around a lot. So the helicopter can fly safely. It's just the start and shutdown that eventually will hit those limits, and we'll I guess abandon the helideck and then sort of land in one of the parks or operate from RAF Northolt. So yesterday was a bit different when the winds picked up. We operated from RAF Northolt, so we're still online, but we're just not up on the helipad.
Not getting your great views, but hey.
Oh, we did fly, but not actually.
Yeah. Obviously. Yeah, I mean, I must admit, one day I'd love to fly over London, and see the views you guys see. So maybe it's on my bucket list, I guess. So anyway, I'll go on to the next question. What is your favourite thing about London?
Good question. There's lots of great things in London. I quite like the food in London. We're very, very lucky to get such a diverse range of food from all over the world, and you can get things almost walk out your door and there's some great sort of shops, bars, and restaurants normally open. It's a bit different at the moment, but I think we're sort of very lucky from that respect, and I guess like the opportunities and things you have in London, sort of a great sort of vibrant city. And simple, the generosity and the people who get together when when needed and sort of help each other out, sort of there for each other. So, great city.
Yeah, we're quite friendly, really, aren't we? Yeah. All right, and then this is the final question. You'll be relieved to hear. Can you describe London in 3 words? It's probably hard, isn't it?
3 words. 3 words. I guess exciting, vibrant. You always said that, and opportunities.
Yeah.
So that was 3. Yeah.
That will do nicely. Yeah, I think I'm just going to throw a random one in here because I was chatting to your colleagues about this and going, God, it must have been amazing seeing streets empty and so weird over the COVID. You must have had moments going, I've never seen it like this, like Trafalgar Square empty. From your perspective,
it was really weird. Yeah. So the aircraft is hanging at RAF Northolt, and we'll go there at 7 o'clock in the morning, do a few checks and fly it in. And normally, so we're flying in sort of 8 o'clock, and it's normally sort of rush hour. And the streets were just empty. Trafalgar Square was empty. Buckingham Palace, Horse Guards Parade, all the parks were empty, so there was no one around. What was really good was there wasn't the haze, there was no pollution. And often you kind of get this sort of line of sort of murky yellow sometimes, to sort of see the layer of pollution, and it just disappeared. It was great to see.
Yeah.
That was quite a unique view. Yeah. No, it was eerily calm. On a Sunday, we're flying on the morning and things are quiet, but it was like been a Sunday every day, which is nothing nobody around.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you ever take photos? But obviously you can't take photos when you're flying. It's probably not a good idea.
No, not normally, but no. Sometimes with a sort of GoPro and things like that, but no. And I guess you'd need the camera sort of pointing down to sort of see it. We normally sort of look forward out the window, but
yeah, it's probably a good idea to look forward anyway. I think.
There's always two of us flying. We have a captain and a co-pilot.
Yeah.
So normally one of us flies, one of us navigates. But at least one of us is always out the window. The other was sometimes monitoring or monitoring the instruments, and but it's a very much two-person team.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you ever so much. That's been really
No
lovely to get your unique view of it all, and sparing a bit of time. And
No,
luckily you didn't get called
thank you
away.
for all your support, and thank you very much.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah, we love supporting you guys. It's just really nice to work with you.
We couldn't do our job without you, so it's very much appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah, we can do our job any old way, but we just. What was it? We were voted over the COVID thing. Artists were voted the most useless job out there. So
No, not at all. I don't think so. I think, you go back to sort of mental health and well-being. Just that sort of creativity. It's just when you get questions, you say, "What was lockdown like?" I'm actually sat outside in this. We've got like a helipad garden, and we sort of just built it over lockdown. Just people to have some outdoor space and not say being the PPE and the mask, so be outside, fresh air, have some time to reflect, and we just built things out, sort of planks and bits of wood and bits lying around, and we had a few sort of plants donated, and so that's sort of filtered just through people's creativity, and it just looks a bit nicer, and it's not perfect, but just that little bit of it's just something different, something creativity, just to help people's mental health. And well-being, take the mind off things, help them, give them somewhere to reflect. So I think artists and creative people are absolutely vital.
Yeah, we make you mentally feel better. We like to think.
Yeah, exactly. We'd go crazy, we'd go insane if not. We do look after our own mental health and each other's as well. You look at the mental health of your team and make sure as a team they're okay and they're operating fine. And because if not, then they just won't cope, especially over the pandemic. It's been really, really important as mental health and awareness. So, it's vital.
Yeah, you'll have to send us.
So thank you for what you do. Thank you for supporting us.
No, it's been a pleasure. We have to send us a picture of this garden now. I'm impressed now that you've done this.
Move the camera on, you might see a little bit, but no, we've got a bench.
That looks quite cool, actually. And we see a bit of the view there.
There's hard to go in, so
Fantastic.
We've got some tomatoes.
Oh my God, you've got vegetables.
Yeah.
Oh, that is brilliant. I can see you're going to extend that now, aren't you?
But we've got permission to a little bit, so we've got a nice sort of seating area, so the wind's picked up that. But, no. But so thank you for all your support and everything you've done for us.
We just tell them all that there. They've got to donate loads of money and get their raffle tickets.
Yes,
that's what we want. Anyway, I shall stop there, and thank you ever so much. Hopefully we might see you again. I think you're dropping in for us for the Zoom, aren't you? On Thursday the 3rd. Is that correct?
Possibly, I'm working, so I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll chat with Alison.
I think we're doing it in the evening at 7 o'clock, so hopefully.
I don't know what shift I'm on then, but
All right, we'll work something out. It'll be good.
Brilliant.